Hi my Stampin' friends, I'm Sandra at artypapercrafters.com. Thank you for joining me today and for watching my tutorial. My tutorial today is to make this gorgeous little magnolia flower, and I made it on a belly band, and as you can see by the shape of this, it has been around a box, which I've taken it off of because this tutorial today is just to show you how I made the belly band with this gorgeous magnolia flower and decorated it with leaves and the little stamens in the middle. And so let's crack on and make it. So what you need to make it is a strip of card, and today I'm using Very Vanilla. It measures the whole length of an A4, which is 8 3/4 by 2 inches. Now if your measurements are in America and you're 11 by 8.5, well, you can just cut it to 11 and you can just add pieces on. You can see that I've added a small strip on the bottom here to wrap it round the length of my present, so maybe not a full job. I could have probably put some washi tape on that, but for quickness that's how I've done it. So yeah, so you need the length of an A4 by 2 inches, and then the length of another piece of A4 by 1.5 inches, I think that is, yeah, 1.5 inches. So that's what you need to start. Then you need, this is my Good Morning Magnolia set, and it comes with, you can buy dies with it that match it, and I've used these dies, so 1, 2, 3 dies for the flower, that for the stamens, and then I've cut several of the leaves out, and I've also used my balloon punch. Now this is a retired balloon punch, and there is another one out which is a slightly different shape, but what I've done is I've cut 5 of the larger ones out, and in order to do that, if you put your card in from the right hand side, then you won't waste any card by punching out sizes you don't want. So I punched that size out, and I punched 5 of those out, and then I've got my bits in here. So you need 5 of those balloon pieces, and I've already prepped mine here, and then you need 1 of the larger dies here, which is, let me show you, you need 1 of that large die, and then you need 2 of this inner one, and then you need 2 of the stamens, and then I've just cut out several leaves in the different sizes in Old Olive, Peppersaz, or Calypso Coral, to give a little bit of a twist. So that's what you need to make the flower. So let's start off and let's glue this down to one another. So let's get our glue. Put our glue on the back of this piece. Right, and just centre it in about the middle of the Very Vanilla piece. So wiggle that around like that. Can I pull you out anymore? Yeah, I can. Just for now. I'll pull you back in when we make the flower. So that is nicely glued down. Looking good already. And then I've used some gold washi tape. What have I done with it here? I've got this gold washi tape, and I thought that that looked rather beautiful against the Calypso Coral. So start from one end, and I'm putting that in about the centre, and then just pull that down thing with this is you can lift it back off if you've not stuck it in the right place. Right, where's my scissors gone? So I'll cut that off. And just make sure that that secures down like that. Right then, now we put that to one side. Now for our pieces. So let's get all the pieces. So I said to you that you need five of the balloon pieces, and it doesn't matter whether you've got the old or the new balloon punch, you'll still need 5 pieces. And you're going to use your bone folder and you're going to pull them upwards, because obviously what do we want? We want dimension to our flower, and that's how we're going to get it. So all of your pieces that you've die cut or punched out, you need to give some dimension to. So all of my pieces, which I have prepped some of these up already, but we're just going to give them another little flick. Right, let's pull you down now because we're going to look at this in close up. So what we're going to do, we're going to use some sponge daubers, and this is my little case that I've made for my sponge daubers, and I need petal pink one, which I've labelled up, and I need the So Saffron. Right, so you need the So Saffron for the stamens and the petal pink for the flower. So let's open the petal pink, and then you're just going to sponge the outside edges of the flower and the inside edges, and you can just put on as much as you want really. It just gives it a nice texture when you put this on. So we're going to do the same with our balloon punch pieces, and this just makes a bigger magnolia flower, which is good for boxes, especially if you've made bigger boxes. You've got your scale, then you're making things to scale. And I love flowers. If anyone who knows me will know that I'm a great flower arranger. I just love flowers. And gardening too. I think crafters usually have more than one hobby usually. It's just the nature of the thing. Nature of the beast, as they say. So we're just going to sponge all our flowers. It doesn't take long. Right, I think we've got all our pieces. Let's just do these ones a bit more. Last one. Right, so we've done all our pieces in petal pink, so now we're going to put that away. Oh, that's stiff. Right, and then we're going to use our So Saffron to do our little stamens. So here's our little stamens. So let's move those petal pieces out of the way, and we're going to do our 2 little stamens that we've cut out in So Saffron card. And the stamens are actually come in 2 different sizes. So let's have a look at that. So that's one size, and then that's the other. So that gives more dimension that way, which I love. So we're just going to ink these up. Now to do these, I didn't pick them up because you get rather messy fingers if you do. So I just sponged them down onto the paper like that. And that's all I did. Right, so we've done all our sponging. So to make the flower, we now need to punch out a circle using the 1 1/4 inch punch. So let's do that. And that is just to form the base. You need something to put these flowers onto, these little petal pieces. So as you can see, when you get your little balloon pieces, you put them round and gauge where you need to glue them down to make a nicely formed flower. So that sort of looks good to me. Put them towards, put these little like balloon ends more or less, I would say, to the middle of that punch. So let's find the middle if we can by putting this on the paper. And I think, let's get me a pencil. So the middle, if we move that up like that, the middle would be somewhere about there. So just to put a little pencil mark to just guide you. And then we're going to get our glue, and I'm going to use my art glitter glue. And put your glue around in a circle around that area there. And then put your pieces into the middle, more or less into the middle, like that. And what I did was I sort of overlapped them a bit. And so that's what you do to get them. And you can already see that you've got the beautiful shape of a flower. So let's just press that down with our fingers and make sure that that is good and stuck. And that's what it looks like from the underneath. So you're not going to see that bit, but that's what you've got. And you can push that upwards with your fingers if you want to. And now you've got your other pieces, which are in gradients. So you've got your next size up, one of these, and then you've got next size up again, and then you've got 2 of that size. So that's right. So you've got your balloon punch pieces, 5. You've got the next size up, 1. The next size up, 1 of them. And then the next size up, 2 of them, like that. And that forms your flower. So let's stick those down. So now all you do is put some glue on the bottom here and push that into about the middle. Same again with the next size. And offset them like the petals would be. So you've offset that into the middle there. And then we're going to put these 2 on. But what we're going to do with these 2, we're going to put these 2 together. These 2 small ones. We're going to offset them together like that. Make sure that they're centered. I think that looks good. And then we're going to pop these up on a dimensional, these ones. like that, because we want a little bit more dimension. So as much dimension as you can get. So that goes on the centre there, and you can already see that we've now got a beautiful flower forming. And what we're going to do next, we're going to glue our little stamens together. So glue onto the bottom of the smaller one, put them together, offsetting as much as you can, which is tricky because they're not the same size, but more or less just swivel them till you get them to where you want them. And did I put them on a small dimensional? Let me just check that. Oh, I did. So I got my mini dimensionals, which are here, and I popped those up onto a mini dimensional, and then pop that into the centre here. And then to finish that centre off, we're going to have a little gold faceted gem. So let's get one of those off here, and I used the medium sized one. I felt that that was about right for the flower. And you're probably thinking, well, yeah, that looks good, but it looks a bit flat. But never fear. Let's put the pin back. My lovely friend Ma bought me this lovely pin to put in my glue. It's just gorgeous. Gorgeous. Isn't that gorgeous? Love it. Right, now to make it, you can see it's fairly flat at the moment, but to make it more dimensional, we're going to mould it with our fingers. We're going to pull those petals upwards that we've made. We're going to pull them upwards with our fingers to get some nice dimension. And then scrunch it in the palm of your hands, very gently pull it together like that. Pull it upwards until you've got the dimension that you want. You can now see that that is forming a really pretty flower. Now to do the stamens, let's get up close. To do the stamens, I got my pokey tool and I just pulled that smaller one upwards into the centre of the jewel, the faceted gem, as they're called. Oh, I can't see, can you? So there you have it. And then I just made sure that the other stamen wasn't completely flat. And that gives it much more dimension now. You can see that you've got much more dimension to your flower than you had before. And that is your beautiful, beautiful magnolia. And so now we're going to fit it onto our belly band with our leaves. So I started off and I put some dimensionals onto the bottom of my flower. So I put 3 on because we want it to stay stuck. So there we are. Lovely. And then gauge about the middle and stick that down there. And then I've got these little leaves that I cut out, and so what I did was I got hold of my leaves and I just gave them some dimensions with my finger. And what I did was, because they're 2 different colours of green, so I just offset one against the other. Can you see? So I've got one pointing that way, one pointing this way. And then I got my Calypso coral sized ones. And I used the bigger ones to start with because obviously you've got to get your scale right. So I used them like that. Just love these. And then offset it again, so you've got your colours coming diagonal. And then I got There's me mediums. Let's just poke up. Didn't pull out all of those, did it? Oh, it won't matter. Right, dimension on the smaller one by pulling that up, and I'm going to stick that down there like that. So let's make a start with our glue and stick these down. Just a little bit of glue on the base of the leaves, because obviously we want to keep our dimension, and then just tuck them under and press them down with your pokey tool or something like that. In fact, I might get my other tool. Same with this one. Whoops. No, looks like I've got leaves left over, so I'll make something else with that. So press those down. And you can use as many leaves as you want. I think I've used 6. Is that a different colour? Yeah, let's use that. And then that I'm putting in the middle of those. And then I'm going to add this very tiny one in the centre there. Coming on a treat. Right, let's put this one over there. And then I'll put this last one on. Now that means I've got, what have I got? I've got 8 leaves, and in theory, you know what they say, do things in odd numbers, so because of that I'm going to use another one. And I'm going to tuck that on the other side. I'm going to tuck that here, because that's where I fancy it, down there. So put those in there, put the lid on my glue before it dries out. Right, that's that. Right then, let's get all this clutter out of the way. So, that is our flower. Let's pull you out just a tiny bit. Well, pull you in. I want to show you up close this flower. So this is the end result. Doesn't it look pretty? Stunning, in fact. Who wouldn't want that on their present? And if you wanted to, you could use one of these sentiments and stamp a sentiment and put that, tuck that into the gift. Shall we do that? What shall we put? Thinking of you. Hello. Let's put hello on there. Hello. Hello. Right. Let's just get hello. And then we'll get a scrap of paper. So let's go to the scrap bin, of which I have many scraps. Oh, that looks like it might be perfect. So let's get the, colour should we use for that? We want something vibrant, so shall we use the green? Let's use the green. Right, green. We'll use Old Olive. Let's use Old Olive and say hello. Right, I'm going to stamp that down there and hope that it's straight. Oh, it's not bad, is it? So, I've stamped hello. And then, what can we cut it out with? Let me go and get one of my punches. Right, I'm going to use this. Let's cut a bit of that off. Stick that in the punch. We've got that like that. Let's have a bit more of that. Hello. We'll stick that in there. Put it at an angle maybe. Hello. Put it there. No. Put it under there. That's it. Right, let's get some glue. So a little bit of glue on the end, and let's just give that a bit more dimension by pulling that up and tuck that under there at an angle. And use our pokey toolies to just press that in. So I think that looks really good now. Hello! So, what do you think? Let's pull you out just a little. So what do you think? Aren't they beautiful? And this one looks bigger than that one, so maybe I used slightly bigger. I think that maybe that's just not pressed up like the other one is it? Anyway, they're both beautiful. What do you think? I hope you all have a go at making one of these flowers. They really are dead easy to make. So simple, really. And on a belly band like this, who wouldn't love that on a present? And to wrap it on a present, all I did was wrap it around the present and just score like that. Get your bone folder once you've wrapped it round and just make that score like that. Press it back down over there and fold that back down. And you do the same with all your score lines. Like that. And then you put it on your present. Genius. So I hope you'll have a go at making one of these gorgeous little flowers very soon, and let me know how you get on. I'd love to hear from you. So that's all from me for today, and until the next time, which won't be very far away, bye for now. Bye.